complaining about the media not giving a shit about women's college basketball. And my instant reaction is, oh, how quickly they forget. Right? How quickly they forget. As the Pope would say, no Clark, no spark. Caitlin Clark is now 2 years removed from women's college basketball. Out of sight, out of mind, women's college basketball now is. Out of sight, out of mind.
Was finally revealed, and instead of cheers, the internet exploded with a deafening backlash that rattled the entire sports world. Nike's bold vision for Paige Buecker, designed to launch her into true superstar territory, spectacularly backfired, leaving fans stunned and critics in disbelief. This wasn't merely a marketing error, it felt like a slap in the face, a glaring symbol of a disturbing pattern many voices are now calling out. The backlash was swift, loud, and unmistakably aimed at a brand once celebrated for innovation, now appearing strangely disconnected from its own iconic heritage. For one of basketball's brightest talents, this moment looked less like a launch and more like a complete disaster, didn't it?
How quickly they forget. As the Pope would say, no Clark, no spark. Caitlin Clark is now 2 years removed from women's college basketball. Out of sight, out of mind, women's college basketball now is. Out of sight, out of mind, women's college basketball now is. They don't even have Juju Watkins this year, who they put up on a pedestal, and I'm a fan of Juju, but unfortunately she got injured. So they don't even have Juju Watkins to really.
The sheer nerve of the design, or more accurately, the emptiness behind it, immediately hit a raw nerve. What was supposed to become a bold, iconic emblem for Paige Buecker instead morphed into a glaring example of corporate laziness, with critics wasting no time branding it pure slop. The logo lacked imagination, soul, or intent, feeling less like a creative choice and more like a calculated insult. Could a global giant like Nike ever approve something so painfully uninspired? That question hung in the air, casting a long shadow over Buecker's entire brand debut and exposing a contrast so jarring it fueled endless debate. This wasn't just a failed shoe release, it was a full-blown conceptual collapse.
Run with it. Well, the fall off from Caitlin Clark getting drafted to where we are 2 years later, it's almost as if for women's college basketball, Caitlin Clark never existed. For the casual fan. We are back to those levels of not caring about women's college basketball. Folks, I didn't care about women's college basketball until I heard of Caitlin Clark. Guilty as charged. And I didn't care. ESPN didn't care. Fox Sports didn't care. Independent media didn't care. Random podcasters didn't care.
They somehow managed to visualize the absolute worst image imaginable for a fast-paced, electric basketball star. Now imagine this, a plain, forgettable bucket. That was the logo. A literal paint can, a sand pail, a Home Depot barrel, anything except a symbol worthy of a rising superstar. The internet showed no mercy, ripping the infamous PB bucket apart and openly questioning the sanity of the entire design process. How many people reviewed this? How many executives signed off on it before it went public? Apparently far too many, proving that even the biggest brands can make astonishingly tone-deaf decisions, and the backlash was only just getting started.
ESPN didn't care. Fox Sports didn't care. Independent media didn't care. Random podcasters didn't care. They just didn't care. And now that she's no longer in college basketball, well, Corey Close, the head coach of the UCLA women's basketball team, is now getting smacked with a dab of reality. UCLA coach calls out missing media after ranked women's basketball game. Where are you guys at? You guys for the last few years were telling me you loved women's basketball.
This was never just about a logo. It was about the perception of effort, or the painfully obvious lack of. For a brand like Nike, celebrated for revolutionary campaigns and legendary athlete partnerships, this felt like a direct betrayal of its own identity. The message was impossible to ignore: minimal effort, maximum return, or worse, complete indifference. The design quickly became a symbol of a much larger issue surrounding how the sport is being treated, especially at a time when every move is under intense scrutiny. Frustration wasn't limited to Paige Buecker alone. It spilled over into the entire women's basketball community, igniting a deeper, more collective anger.
Women's basketball game. Where are you guys at? You guys for the last few years were telling me you loved women's basketball. Where are you guys all at now? You don't want to cover this great UCLA team? No, not really. I kind of got other things to do. I kind of have other things to watch. You know, there's college football playoff. You know, there's hockey. And there's that, what's that other league? Oh yeah, the NFL is taking, yeah, there's some other things.
The real sting wasn't merely the logo's visual collapse. It was the unsettling suggestion that Nike simply didn't care enough to pour real creativity into Paige Buecker's brand. This didn't feel like an isolated slip-up. It hinted at a deeper lack of commitment echoing across the entire women's basketball landscape. A troubling question quickly took center stage. If an athlete of Buecker's caliber couldn't secure authentic creative investment, what did that imply for everyone else? The moment served as a blunt reality check, one that sent ripples through the industry as insiders took notice and quietly
yeah, there's some other things that media would rather do. They saw Caitlin Clark, they saw the hype, they saw the attention, they jumped on board. You guys really bought into the fact that they cared about you. What did they say in Temptation? Nobody care about you, Otis! They're here for me! Yeah. Well, we didn't really care about the rest of y'all. We were here for Caitlin Clark. And now that Caitlin Clark's gone, well, so has the hype. So has the excitement. Shout out to Rudy coming out of the podcast.
That sloppy logo instantly turned into a harsh reflection of the current state of women's college basketball, especially in the post-Caitlin Clark era. Just as Paige Bueckers was being positioned as the new face of Unrivaled, the league's ambitious next chapter, this branding disaster dropped at the worst possible moment. The irony was brutal, a full-blown public relations nightmare that exposed an uncomfortable truth. Without Clark, the spotlight felt weaker, and every mistake hit harder. The contrast between Clark's undeniable gravitational pull and this embarrassing branding blunder couldn't have been clearer.
Jazzy Davidson missing a wide-open layup. Oh, what a great first impression. Hannah Duggal comes down, hits a buzzer beater in USC's face. That's game. And that's the extent of women's college basketball that I've watched. Not excited. My interest levels are back to me prior to finding out about Caitlin Clark. And it seems as if everybody's interest levels are back finding out pre-Caitlin Clark. Do they have like studio shows talking about this stuff anymore? Are there entire segments and vignettes talking about these players like there were?
The departure of Caitlin Clark from the college game sent shockwaves through the sport, creating a massive void that no one has truly been able to replace. No Clark, no spark quickly became the painful refrain echoing across media platforms, a blunt admission from analysts and fans alike. Almost overnight, the once roaring buzz around women's college basketball seemed to fade, with even coaches like UCLA's Corey Close openly voicing frustration over the sudden lack of media attention. It felt as though a golden era ended the moment Clark walked away from the collegiate stage, leaving behind a silence that spoke louder than any crowd ever could.
Let's get to it. This logo, to me, is proof that Nike just doesn't care. This is the logo that you get when you just don't want to put in any effort. You don't want to think at all. You don't want to put in any brain power. This is what the kids would call slop. Slop. Paige Buecker's Paige Bucket. This literally looks like a bucket. Like a sand bucket. This looks like you go to Home Depot, you go to the garbage section, they got those silver Barons bucket. It looks like one of those.
Corey Close, head coach of the UCLA women's basketball team, didn't hold back her frustration after a double-ranked matchup received almost zero media coverage. "Where are you guys at?" she demanded, addressing the very outlets that had celebrated the sport just months earlier. Her words were a raw appeal for consistency, a stark reminder that the fleeting hype around Clark hadn't translated into lasting attention for the entire league. The media had clearly moved on, chasing the next sensation, leaving women's basketball once again fighting for airtime and recognition. According to Close, this abrupt withdrawal felt like a